Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here and just now joining me, welcome. My name is Desiree and today I'm going to be working on a 12 by 12 layout. I know I don't come on here very often like I used to, but that is because, well, if you're just now joining me, that is because my husband has taken over my scrapbooking room and kind of made it into his office. He's been doing that now for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, but it definitely has kind of basically impacted my scrapbooking time. I don't get to go in there very often because he's in there most of the time and I just can't. So the time is that I do get to scrapbook, I definitely appreciate every moment. And it definitely is something that I'm trying to get used to. But because I don't scrapbook very often, it sometimes does hinder me, especially if I've taken a break before and I try to come back. So I have really tried to use the tools that I used to do when I had long periods of breaks. Being that time is precious that I get to be in there. So I look at it as like, okay, go with a layout that you've done once before that is very similar and just make it really easy for yourself. And so that's what I'm doing is I'm grabbing my 12 by 12, I'm taking a 6 by 6 paper, and because I print my papers or my pictures from home, I tend to do a smaller, it's not a true 4 by 6, I actually go smaller than that. I want to say like maybe 3 by 5. And being that I print that size, I'm able to use the 6 by 6 a lot more. So I did that and I went through my scraps. I went through the paper that I wanted to use, and that's Little U by Crepe Paper. And then I was like, okay, I normally have a hard time, trying to decide of what supplies I want to use and how to use them. But today just kind of really shocked me because it kind of just flowed very easily. I took a stencil and I've used a stencil before for what the image is, but I decided, wait a minute, what if I decide to not use the rainbows and use those little itty bitty hearts? And that's what I'm going to do. Now, the photograph that I am scrapbooking today, you're probably thinking, especially if you've been with me for a really long time, you know that I've already done my daughter's first album. And looking back on it, my daughter and I were just flipping through it the other day. I shouldn't say the other day, at least a month ago. And I realized, oh, there is a blank spot. There was an actual layout that needed to be done. So because I scrapbook in chronological order in their albums, I realized that, okay, it's the month of October. I need to find a picture for that year and that month. And I found one of me now. I don't really was not present in my daughter's first album, and neither for my son either. It was very rare that I kind of showed up. I was usually the one taking a picture, and so I kind of hid behind the camera. So when I saw this picture of her and I thought, you know what, this is the one I'm going to scrapbook, just so that way, again, I'm more present in her album and not her kind of going, well, how come it's mostly pictures of daddy and me or just me? I really wanted to be seen in her album as well. Now, I did have this scrap piece of paper, which I kind of laugh at myself now. Like, okay, I really saved this little piece of scrap, but at the same time, it kind of worked out really good. I did use this, or I was thinking about using this flea market cut apart sheet as well for my layout. I I love that line, even though it's really old, but I just could not make it work. So then I went back into the Crate Paper Little U because this is more of a baby album, or it was her baby album. It's her very first year. I went back on what I had left and I thought, okay, what can I use and use as much of it as I can? And so I went to the chipboard pieces and I really liked this bow. Went back on it, thought about using this banner, and I decided to scratch that and end up using these hearts. I thought hearts were really easy. It's a very generic shape. It kind of already goes with what I'm using from the stencil, or goes along with using the hearts from the stencil. And I thought, okay, I can make this work. Now, anytime I use chipboard, I tend to remove a lot of layers of the actual chipboard. I kind of like it just a little bit of dimension, not too thick on my pages. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera. Well, I did it on camera, but I cut that part out for you. And now that I get it all, have removed all of it, I'm going to go ahead and start gluing it down. Once I realized kind of what I wanted, or I had a good idea of what I wanted on this layout, I am trying not to hem and haw anymore because I don't want to take 2 or 3 days like it used to for me to do a layout. And like I said, that's because I would go in my room and I would sit there for, gosh, a long time, kind of trying to decide of what all products I wanted to use and grabbing all the products. Well, now I just don't have that time because like I said, it could just be maybe I get an hour a week to be in there. So I am trying to be quick, fast, and just not trying to make everything so perfect because at the end of the day, anytime that my family or even some of my friends that do kind of go through the albums, they aren't looking for perfection. They're flipping through it. They're looking at the pictures. My mom definitely reads, and my dad reads everything that I type up. My friends don't, but that's okay. I don't expect them to. And even my kids, they will flip through it. They won't really read it, but I know eventually they will. They're teenagers right now, so you know how it is with teenagers. If it's got to be something that they're interested in, as far as what they want to read. All right, so then moving on, once I get that little visual triangle going of all those little gold pieces, it ends up being really, really cute. I think that's adorable how everything turned out. And I thought about using some more, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I think I actually still have a sticker sheet left. So yes, that was like a folded 12 by 12 sticker sheet. And basically what I did was I cut it apart and then moved the remaining stickers onto one sheet. So I only have that 6 by 12 right there that you see. And I'm like, okay, how much of this can I use up? Now, I don't want to force things. That's something that I definitely don't do. Like when I say I want to use as much of it as I can, I don't force everything. I try to definitely have a decision and of where I want things to go. And I'm more of a minimalist. That's something, I mean, even in my home, especially if you guys are just following my home channel, my home decor channel, I am more of a minimalist, except for when it comes into my craft room. That is definitely where I tend to hoard, but I'm now trying to, like I said, use everything up. So once I place that down, I really like the saying of a new baby, so I'm going to add that in the center of the page, or at least lined up with that bow. And then I saw that word baby, and I thought, oh, and then I wanted to use that baby. Now I already know that even though she wasn't one yet, and I definitely could use that still because this was her first year. And I thought there was a thing that said it's a girl. Well, I'm not going to have any more kids, so I decided to cut that and leave the girl part. And then the title is going to read My Baby Girl because I still say that to this day. Even though she is 13, I will still say, you are my baby girl. And she kind of just laughs at me, Mom, I'm a teenager. I'm like, I know, but you will always be my baby girl. So I thought that title was fitting, and I usually like to do that with a play on words of how to make it fit into my title. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue everything down, and I'm going to call this layout done. I'm going to apologize for the darkness of the photograph at the end, and that is because we are having a storm. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. I do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you don't mind giving me a thumbs up, I really appreciate it. And if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you here, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you are interested in my home decor channel, I will have that linked or listed below as well. Y'all have a great day, and I will talk or see you soon. Bye.